Okay, so he read in the Bible in James chapter 1, verse 5, which reads, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." Never did any passage of Scripture come with more power to the heart of man than this did at this time to mine. It seemed to enter with great force into every feeling of my heart. I reflected on it again and again, knowing that if any person needed wisdom from God, I did. For how to act I did not know, and unless I could get more wisdom than I then had, I would never know, for the teachers of religion of the different sects understood the same passages of Scripture so differently as to destroy all confidence in settling the question at an appeal to the Bible, by an appeal to the Bible. So he decided that he needed to ask God directly. So he went out into some woods near his house to pray directly to God. And he says, it was the first time in my life that I had made such an attempt, for amidst all my anxieties, I had never as yet made the attempt to pray vocally. So he starts his prayer, and I'll read it in his words. It says, "After I had retired to the place where I had previously designed to go, having looked around me and finding myself alone, I kneeled down and began to offer up the desires of my heart to God. I had scarcely done so when immediately I was seized upon by some power which entirely overcame me, and had such an astonishing influence over me as to bind my tongue so that I could not speak. Thick darkness gathered around me, and it seemed to me for a time as if I were doomed to sudden destruction. But exerting all my powers to call upon God to deliver me out of the power of this enemy which had seized upon me, and at the very moment when I was ready to sink into despair and abandon myself to destruction, not to an imaginary ruin, but to the power of some actual being from the unseen world, who had such marvelous power as I had never before felt in any being, just at this moment of great alarm, I saw a pillar of light exactly over my head, above the brightness of the sun, which descended gradually until it fell upon me. It no sooner appeared than I found myself delivered from the enemy which held me bound. When the light rested upon me, I saw two personages, whose brightness and glory defy all description, standing above me in the air. One of them spake unto me, calling me by name, and said, pointing to the other, This is my beloved Son, hear him." So those two personages, those two people that Joseph Smith saw, were God, the Father, and Jesus Christ. So we learn a few things from that. One, that God, the Father, and Jesus Christ are two separate beings with bodies. And what personally is significant to me is that God called Joseph Smith by name. He said Joseph, so he knows each one of us individually. And we believe that our relationship with him is that he is our Father. And so like Joseph Smith, if we have questions that we need answers to, we can pray and ask God for answers to those questions. I don't know what else you want me to talk about.
So is Joseph Smith, is he up there with, God and Jesus? Or,
do we worship him?
Yeah,
No. So I would say that we respect Joseph Smith a lot, and I believe that he was a prophet, but I wouldn't say that, no, he's not on the same level as God and Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.